Well, there's no turning back. Star Wars has gone splat. Yet again, folks, it's the common refrain, this time more disdain from the audience towards Leslie Headland, Amanda Stenberg, Kathleen Kennedy, and the rest of the Acolytes. We're here to tell you it's rotten, it's for sure, and we'll tell you what the latest discourse is surrounding the disaster that is Disney's Star Wars. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. We are always excited to see you. Nice to see you out there. You're looking good. You too. You're spiffy. And you know who else is spiffy? Michelle of Force of Light. Michelle, welcome to the channel.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Happy we all are. Although, I have to say that if I were in charge of the Acolyte and what has been happening there, I would not be happy. No matter what they say, folks, no matter what they post, no matter the sycophants and the perhaps Botley-looking crew that is out there defending the Acolyte, do not let them fool you. They would love for this to be received glowingly by everyone. Unfortunately for them, it is not. So they will settle with a fight with the fans. All right, here is one of the things that's been gaining quite a bit of dislike. And Michelle, we did an Acolyte after party the other day. And one of the things we didn't touch on much because there was so much to make fun of, specifically that lightsabers can carve through someone and they live, but a butter knife takes you down. This says, this is what happens when you put a chick in it and make it lame and gay, which is the South Park reference. Fire in space, the Acolyte. And of all the things that people have mocked in my real life, Michelle, of all the stuff that they have really made fun of, the real life people, not the people that I know on the internet, although you're a real person, Michelle.
I am.
But they are making fun of this fire thing in space. So what did you think about that part of the Acolyte? And then we'll get to the audience reaction, the Rotten Tomatoes that's ugly for Acolyte. What did you think, Michelle?
Well, I mean, yeah, for starters, the fire in space is ridiculous. But this is the second time they've done that someone in like a spacesuit. It happened in Ahsoka too.
Yep, it's weird every time.
Every time it's weird. That's all I have to say. It just kind of throws me out of the world every time. It's awkward.
It doesn't look right.
No, it feels too much like our world and not their world.
That's yes, that is perfectly said. And thank you for the segue. We did not plan this, folks. The segue to our world. This is Amanda Stenberg, and she is on The Daily Show. Now, folks, we want to be as honest in our reporting as we possibly can be. And so we are not disingenuous. That is the job of the other side. We are the truth tellers. So I want to be extremely clear here. This is not an interview for the Acolyte. This is not part of the press tour for the Acolyte. This video is years old, in which she is promoting a film that's about racial injustice. Yet, Michelle, I also want to be clear that that does not make it utterly divorced from the problems we see. Mm-hmm. Because I want us to listen to this very briefly, and then we're going to consider that perhaps this entire mindset that has enraptured the people who are making the Acolyte is faulty and bad and corrupt and all of those things. Let's play the clip and then I'll get your take on it.
When people watch The Hate You Give, what do you want them to walk away with? Because I know everyone has a slightly different feeling.
Well, I mean, white people crying actually was the goal. It was the goal.
So my take on this, Michelle, is that I cannot think of very many reasons to try to make a single demographic cry. No. Unless you believe that they are corrupted into such a degree that you are justified in trying to make them cry. They are oppressing you or they are oppressing someone else, and therefore they deserve to cry. The problem here is that it turns the entire group into a stereotype, and every one of them deserves this thing. So, Michelle, what do you make of the people who are behind the Acolyte? And then we'll reveal this Rotten Tomatoes score that is just awful, because I think this is where the terrible direction of the show is coming from. Take it away.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, and that's actually, I've seen another interview that she did, kind of disparaging white people. So there seems to be a trend there, and I mean, really just when we make content, when you make content, I make our videos and stuff. I never once have thought about a single demographic. I just do what I do because I want to get it out. I want to create it. I want to make it, and I hope it blesses everyone. I hope it puts a smile on their face. It's not like I'm beyond over everything, us all being broken down into our identity groups.
Yeah, and they're false identity groups too.
Yeah.
Because and I'm not disparaging anyone here, folks. Please understand this. The Southern Georgia redneck and the California yuppie and the Canadian blue hair person using way too much splat, those three people might be in that same white people category, but it's meaningless. I don't know anything about somebody if you tell me that they're white. I know nothing other than you think their skin color says something. That's all I know. And by the way, it's pretty darn similar when you compare that to any other group. We are thinking at the very lowest resolution when we only break somebody down into white, black, brown, Asian, whatever it is. That is ultra low resolution. And the problem with ultra low resolution is it's convenient for stupid people. It is terrible for actually understanding reality, and it will damage people, and it is damaging our society to a huge extent. Am I wrong on any of that?
Oh, you're absolutely right. It's incredibly divisive. And I think we see the proof in that in what Star Wars and some of these studios have done. Everything they do is designed to be divisive. And congratulations, you've very much divided your fan base.
Well, maybe they can take some solace in the fact that 93% of critics say that this is a good show after 2 episodes.
93% of paid off critics think this is a good show.
On the other hand, Michelle, 32%. And you got to think, there's got to be a lot of people out there who they're fighting the good fight Star Wars. They're trying to help the Acolyte. They believe in Leslie. She didn't know. And they're trying to help her out. They're trying to show the world exactly how good this show is. And despite their best efforts, they cannot beat back the general public. 32% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. And folks, lest you forget, we don't trust Rotten Tomatoes not for a single second. So the fact that it's down at 32% probably means that this thing is so far in the gutter you can't find it. Here's one interesting thing, Michelle, about an audience score this low. We have seen the 2 best episodes, according to those who have watched the show and can tell us what's going to happen.
Ooh.
These are by far the best 2 episodes we're going to get. So I don't know where that thing's going to go below 32 after this next episode, but I can't even imagine. Michelle, I haven't had the chance to hear your review of the first 2 episodes of The Acolyte. I know that you've been covering this on your channel, and people definitely need to go watch Force of Light and check out your content. But I've just been so busy. I don't know if you've noticed, Disney has had a disastrous week, and I'm going to get over there and watch. But could you give us just a brief synopsis of what you thought of the first 2?
Yeah, I thought it was absolutely terrible. The thing that stood out the most to me, the thing that's the most baffling about the show was when the Jedi decides to off himself due to guilt. One, this is supposed to be family friendly. Secondly, that has to be against the Jedi code. Thirdly, stop trying to make the Jedi these corrupt, evil people. That is
Wait a minute, Michelle. You did not suddenly feel inside you a bit of nostalgia where you thought, oh, if only when Darth Vader and Obi-Wan started to fight in A New Hope, Darth Vader had said, "You are riddled with guilt, Obi-Wan. Here, drink my green goo." You didn't have that thought? That wouldn't have made the original Star Wars better if they were self-deleting themselves with green poison apple goo?
No, it would have been terrible. And furthermore, my thoughts on it is when I see that Rotten Tomato score that you pulled up for critics, I can never trust any of those people again. There is no way that is authentic in any way. This show, if you like it, that's great, but it's going to have to be in the category of a guilty pleasure if you like it, because this show is it's objectively poorly written, poorly directed, and poorly executed. And the costumes look like they went to Spirit of Halloween to get them.
Well,
They
they all look
could.
brand new. They don't look like they've ever been worn before. You're exactly right.
It's just everything about it is poor. It's just bad. So again, the audience score speaks way more volumes to me, but the critic score, I mean, they kind of just they pretty much just gave up any credibility they could have had if you truly think that is a 93. I mean, when I talked to my sister Natalie, her first thing was, spoiler for anyone who cares, they're going with the evil twin sister plot. Like, really? Like, that's been done many times. Like, nothing about this is fresh. Nothing about it is new. It is contrived and just horribly written.
Michelle, they're Anna and Elsa. You're going to get a musical number. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll find out how far she'll go. Right. Let's talk about the sister part of this. Did you find it at all a sign that perhaps the people behind this are lazy and low IQ when the two sisters who have not seen each other in a very long time also just so happen to look exactly the same, down to the identical haircut, and we can't tell which one is which? Did that come across as maybe just a little bit unbelievable? Or are sisters, particularly twins, so exactly the same that they would even choose the same hairstyle? Is that how that works? I'm confused.
No, I think again, it was confusing. I was confused of like, who's who. I mean, their hair is identical. Going back to like Lindsay Lohan's The Parent Trap, even as like, what, I don't know how old she was when she did that, 11, 12 years old. Even she as an actress was able to give each character a different enough personality that you were never confused on who was who. And they just did simple things, like one wore their hair this way, the other one would wear it back. You know, they just did things to help the audience know who is who, plus her acting ability, as a young kid, let you know this is this one and this is that one. With this show, who knows? You only know if she's killing someone, who's who.
Well, I think you're being overly harsh. I think that Amandla is trying very hard to make twins cry.
She might be.
All right, so let's talk about the Force is female, which is what we're going to get next week. Spoilers, folks. Spoilers. Just know that. I don't know if any of you out there care, but spoilers. So this coming week, Michelle, Tuesday, they're going to make the Force essentially be female. They're not going to outright declare it, but they're going to walk straight up to it as closely as you can. And the Force is going to be something that's going to be manipulated and explained and controlled in a way by a lesbian coven of witches. So, Michelle, apologies for ruining the plot, but do you think that this is the end? Like, do you think this is the end of Star Wars and its relevancy, or do you think that we'll still watch Skeleton Crew? Like, what is going to happen to this franchise? Because a lot of people have said it's already dead.
Mm-hmm.
They've been saying it's dead for years. I think this is the dead, right? I think this is the nail in the coffin, but I don't know what you think. Can it be redeemed at any point, or is this going to have to be a total reboot after they manipulate the Force into being a lesbian thing and the twins are butt babies?
Yeah, at this point, it almost feels like Disney would have to sell Lucasfilm, and it'd have to go to someone that could actually just start from fresh for the most part again. Because it's so absurd at this point. And the reason why I've heard some people say it's going to be as bad as The Last Jedi, the reason I can't say that is because we've already reached the point after The Last Jedi that no one cares. Like even me, who's been a fan my entire life. I mean, I can't recall a time I didn't have Star Wars in my life. That's how far it goes back. And I have been apathetic towards Star Wars for the last couple years, really since the firing of Gina Carano, but definitely after Obi-Wan.
You made a very funny thought go through my mind. At least I think it's funny. Maybe the audience will agree. The Last Jedi is like someone being run over by a car, and then the Acolyte is like after that person is bloodied and every bone broken and they're laying in the road, somebody run up and being, by the way, you also have gangrene. That's what the Acolyte is like. You're exactly right. It would be a terrible diagnosis, but given the circumstances, it's already in misery.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one thing that is not miserable is your channel, Force of Light. And Michelle, you have content to cover for weeks. Let me just tell you. Tell the folks out there what you have coming up other than Acolyte coverage, because they're going to go there and check out what you've got. But beyond the Acolyte, what are you going to be talking about?
Yes, well, because we all had to watch The Acolyte, or at least us YouTubers did, and we've all had to think about it, you can head over to Force of Light Entertainment and watch my sister and I. We do reaction videos. We've got tons of them up. You can find reaction videos of any genre, but our latest one that comes out today at 11:30 a.m. is Val Kilmer's Top Secret. So if you need a good laugh, just come laugh with us and just forget The Acolyte for, a few days.
Well, I mean, you can have a good laugh on the Acolyte as well. But yes, if you need a break, folks, from it, if you've laughed so hard you just can't keep going on, you're out of breath. It'll be a fantastic video, I'm sure. Michelle, I'm sending you an official invitation in front of all of these glorious people out there, the highest IQ on the internet. Michelle, we'll be doing an after party for the Acolyte coming up. It's going to be, I think, the absolute downfall of Star Wars. You are welcome to join us as we have a Force Wake, not Force Foo, Force Wake, in honor of the Star Wars that was. Folks, if you want to come join us for the after party of the Acolyte Episode 3, you'll be joining us sometime around 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Just depends on when I finish the episode. We'll go fast. We'll get everybody on there. Great panel, big times. We had 2,000 in the audience this last time, and I think we topped 20,000 views so far on it. So we have a great time, and we would love to have all of you out there. You are invited as well. You are welcome to the party. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for you to go from passive to active. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. All right, folks, we will see you very soon. Go subscribe to Force of Light if you have not done so already. Don't let your folks say, "What were you thinking?" Be subscribed. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Listen up, my brothers and sisters. You've been listening to fills and those with an agenda to destroy your brain cells for far too long. It's time to change your way of doing things. Hold up. TPP is the place to be. Covering the news, so honestly, it's a team that's cool and tried and true. Ahead of the culture curve, they're trying to keep you. Jonas and Pro, they run the show, and they dragged in the bearded culture casino. You got Valiant and Lauren and Force of Light. Wonderful people, yeah, they're alright. They got weird bringing in people like Floral, but made no mistake with Lorena Creole. Amelia and John, stuttering guitarist. Martin and Tawny and someone called CMS. Fat Steven makes a bunch of all the graphics. Did I mention a partnership with Bending in the comics? Fat Sky is a guy and Doc Matt does the web stuff. There's probably some people I missed. I hope they're not telling you the news that should be fun. With accurate info that's not been spun. You can figure it out as you will see. The TPP is the place to be.
Yeah, Wilton. That was actually pretty good, or White. But I think you might have forgotten Vash.
Well, he lost all his friends. But it was implied.